this is Daryl again. This next one is the identity theft skit that we used to do back in the mid to early 2000s. Identity theft was starting to become more of a national issue. You know, people started becoming more aware of it, and there started being commercials on television which would show people mouthing words, and a completely different voice would come out, and the people were talking about, you know, stealing credit cards and purchasing a whole bunch of stuff that didn't belong to them. So we decided to make a skit about it. And how this would set up, this was actually a setup skit to introduce somebody, you know, the other performer, to do a solo stand-up act. That's why I wrote it. How this one would come about is I would stand in the middle of the stage without a microphone. First, I would address the seriousness of, you know, identity theft and explain what it was and what we were about to do. Then I would give my microphone to the other performer, who would walk off the stage and, you know, still be kind of visible so people could kind of see him, but kind of pretend that he's not really there. And I would stand there with no microphone, and I would do physical comedy, you know, trying to mouth the words to the identity theft that was going on, while the other performer into the microphone would be reading all the words. I would try to go along with what he was saying, you know, try to do physical comedy to it. And the whole idea was basically that we had rehearsed it out, and then during the middle of our rehearsed skit, his phone rings, and he ends up answering it and doesn't realize his microphone is on, and it causes some chaos. And here you can see we're just doing a little skit. You know, he's talking about use it for off-road and night on the town. Yeehaw. All this stuff is a parody of, you know, some of the commercials that were just going on. I bought myself the cutest little outfit, $450, you know. And just most of this is just commercial stuff. Yeah, so I could complete my new robot, my girl robot. Right here is where the phone would ring. After the part, this is going to be the best prom ever. And then you hear a cell phone ring, and that's when he answers his phone and supposedly goes off script, and I'm left on stage just sort of hanging like, uh-oh, what's going on? Here he answers the phone call. Here he intentionally insults the crowd, or actually this part, he doesn't insult the crowd yet. He's complaining about having to do the show because he doesn't want to do it. Here's where he starts insulting the crowd to try to get a reaction out of them. It usually did, but sometimes it didn't. And it's still insulting the crowd. And here you have to sort of dispense the reality that the guy, even though he can see the crowd and the crowd can see him, you have to sort of pretend that he really thinks he's alone because he wants to have a private conversation with the person on the phone. Or he talks about, you know, the secret that only you and I know about. And then, of course, you discover that the guy that's performing off the stage is really a girl. Then, you know, that usually gets a little bit of a laughter out of the crowd because, you know, the more manly looking the guy is, the better it is. You know, big buff guy or whatever, covered in tattoos and a beard, makes it look a whole lot better, you know. And here I start doing a little battle of the sexes sort of thing. You know, oh God, if I have to hear about sports, I'm gonna cry, blah blah blah. Again. And then here I start having the guy channel his inner 14-year-old blonde girl, you know, like totally. And then, of course, you know, I try to turn girls against guys in the crowd. Oh, guys are stupid. I parted my hair differently the other day and none of them even noticed. And here they continue making fun of, the game that's on TV. And then, of course, I gained 3 pounds this week and it's all on my hips, which, again, would be great if it's some big, buff, hairy guy with a beard and tattoos and stuff. And then here you starts getting into where he starts making fun of me. And somehow I can't hear him, but again, we're pretending. And then he says I'm hitting on a blonde again because, there's always a chance there's a blonde out in the crowd. And $20 you'd get her phone number. I think you'd give up by now. And here I get the insult, he's never had a real girlfriend and never will, get the crowd laughing at me. And you find out that I'm sucking my thumb, and the hits just keep coming, and you find out I sleep with a teddy bear, and you find out the teddy bear's named Pookie Wookums, and you find out I pee the bed, and then you find out that I'm still not potty trained, and that I buy Spider-Man underoos, and no, they don't make them in my size, so I have to, just sort of put them together. And of course I can't sew, so I gotta use staples. Of course, staples. I just staple my underwear together. Which of course causes problems because I'm peeing all over the staples. Staples are getting rusty, causing other problems. And then of course he hangs up the phone, and then he starts walking out onto the stage like, hey, what's going on? What's wrong? And you see me just furious at him, and I grab the microphone from him, introduce the next performer. He goes into his stand-up routine. The end.